Hey ladies, these girls cannot keep up. They simply can't. And they will lose their minds, their hair, their clear skin. Some of them will lose it all in order to keep up with the it girls. When you make hard things look easy, you trigger people who admire you but can't say it out loud. People who have one-sided competitions with you or who want your life, they literally are just your admirers, right? But they are admirers who have allowed themselves to be taken to an extreme. They obsess over you. They idolize you. They watch you to a T. They study you, every detail about your life. They have examined through and through.
One thing that's always funny to notice is when somebody realizes in their one-sided competition with you that what you do is actually very impressive and hard. You just make it look easy. And so this usually plays out when they try to copy you and they start doing the things you're doing or following the path you're following. And you're doing it as well, or maybe you've already completed part of the process and they're trying to catch up to you. And so they start out all fired up, ready to catch up with you, thinking that the task itself is easy because you make it look easy. And again, this goes to their faulty mind and competition comparison, because this one-sided competition is rooted in showing you you're not as excellent as they themselves think you are. So they form this competition to try to affirm themselves. But as they get started on the path, sometimes they come to the realization that you're just built different. And the reason you have the results you do is because you're not in competition. You're flexing an entirely different muscle. You're having fun with it, and therefore it comes easy to you. So even the hard things become done so well, it seems as if it's not even hard for you. Sometimes they'll call off the one-sided competition when they realize the amount of work that really goes into it. But sometimes they'll try to keep their foot on the gas, even if they now realize that's going to take much longer than they thought to even be able to begin competing with you.
It is a sick obsession. And what they end up doing is, because they have propped you up on this pedestal that is so high, unbeknownst to you, right? You're not privy to this pedestal that they've put you on. They have you up on this pedestal. They're obsessed. They're watching your every move. They have made you the pinnacle of success, the pinnacle of beauty. You know, they have put you up on this pedestal as the standard in their own life. So they're not the standard in their life. You're the standard in their life. Okay, that's some real it girl shit. When people can't even be their own standard or pedestalize themselves, but they've pedestalized you, girl, you're winning. You're an it girl. So when people do this, because they get so obsessed with your excellence and because you have made your life look easy, even though it has been hard, it's been treacherous, you've been put through the ringer, you have got it out the mud, whatever your backstory is, we all know that life is not easy, okay? And some of us even start in the negative, unfortunately. Some of us have had really hard upbringings and, really hard beginnings. And so for you to be in the place you're at now, wherever that is or whatever that looks like for you, trust and believe, if you are that girl, there are people around you who are puzzled and confused as to how you make it look so good. So that triggers competition in losers, because they don't know how to pedestalize themselves. They don't know how to focus on themselves. They don't have an identity of themselves. They lack self-concept, and they can't self-actualize because they're living off of the personalities of the 5 that they were once friends with years ago, and they're looking for their next victim. They cannot be an it girl in their own life. You're the next victim. You're the next victim. So because they see you as this excellent being, and they think, wow, she's been able to achieve X, Y, and Z in this amount of time. It must have been so hard for her. How is she able to do that? Because you make it look good, they think that they can go and achieve the same things you do because you make it look good. People don't realize, specifically women who compete with you, because they're so envious and they're blinded by envy and immaturity and lack of self-concept. They can't even sit for a second and think to themselves, wow, this person must have worked really hard. It must have been difficult for them. Clearly they're fighting against maybe generational curses. These things don't cross their minds. They don't think about your origin story, where you come from, why you go so hard, why you glow up, why you maintain your glow up. They don't think about these things. All they think about is the end result, how you're showing up now. So because of that, they want to compete with you. It's like they can't live knowing that you're this excellent and that they can't get your excellence out of their head, so they have to run and go do what you're doing. They have to run and go get to the points you're trying to get to before you can. How weird is that? So you mean to tell me, because I make something look good, because I make my struggle look like nothing, you want to hop into my lane and do what I do? Good luck to you. And what ends up happening, like the person in this video said, when they realize that it's not as easy, that's when they'll stop competing. They'll usually fall by the wayside and quit. Or if they're really egotistical, and if they're like narcissistic or have some type of personality disorder, or they're just extremely jealous and envious, they will, like the person said, keep their foot on the gas and really, really fight to keep up with you. And this is where you'll see, these friends or these acquaintances you have, they will distance themselves from you, or you will start to get a really cold, negative, nasty energy from them. And it's because they're realizing how hard it is to be you. And then not only do they admire you for that, they're also angry at you for it. Because where their fascination with you originally started from and spawned from was from a place of admiration and attempting to do what you do because, hey, if she could do it, I can do it. Once they started, though, the admiration turned into envy and hate because they realized, damn, trying to do what she's doing is hard as hell. Trying to compete with this it girl is hard as hell. Trying to be this it girl is not easy. It's not fun. I have to sacrifice a lot. I have to limit who I speak with, who I interact with. I have to make radical decisions. I have to take huge risks. I have to put myself in uncomfortable situations. I have to grow. These are not easy things, ladies. These are things that can sometimes uproot people's lives. A lot of us have had to do things, take risks, take radical action toward things that we need to get done and want to do. And it has not been easy. And we've had to sacrifice. We've had to let go of a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of situations. That's not easy. And so someone who is trying to compete with you and keep up with you is going to hate you because they have to now go through that whole initiation process of losing people, losing things, failing, falling on their face, struggling, getting it out the mud, taking crazy risks that are scary. They are pissed at you because they did not realize that it took all of this for you to be who you are today. And it's like, girl, you are so goofy. You are so dumb. You are so dumb. Because instead of you to mind your business, worry about self, worry about who you are, who you want to be, and become the most authentic version of yourself, you are in my lane trying to be me. And then have the nerve and the audacity and the gumption and the gall to be mad at me and to turn your admiration into hate toward me because you can't keep up, because life is too hard when you try to swerve into my lane. Welcome to being an it girl, babe. Most of us didn't ask for this life. And that's the gag, okay? The gag is a lot of girls who people idolize and pedestalize and look up to, most of us did not ask to be it girls. A lot of us were initiated into this life, and we had to deal with the repercussions of that, which was bullying, isolation, spiritual manipulation and witchcraft, gaslighting, abuse, traumatic experiences in the workplace. We have had to fight tooth and nail to just show up and be ourselves and not lose ourselves while people are chipping away at our confidence, our self-esteem, who we are, and you want to come over into my lane thinking that it's just peaches and cream over here, and then have the nerve to hate me and hate on me because you realize that being me is not that easy, you can quite literally go to hell. These types of women are truly losers because you allowed a fixation and an idolization of another person to turn you into a monster and completely derail you from your own path. That is a weak thing to fall victim to. And I can't relate. And the girlies on this channel also can't relate. And I side-eye anyone who does this or who tries to, gaslight it girls and say, oh, well, if someone's copying you, that's a flex. That's a compliment. Take it as a compliment. I don't take it as a compliment, babe. Because the ugly side of people having one-sided competition with you, imitating you and copying you, is that their obsession and fixation goes so far that they would go to lengths to even end your life. Some people are that sick and twisted and crazy that their obsession with keeping up with the it girl will make them go to witch doctors and spiritual practitioners. This is real stuff, people. If you think for a second people wouldn't, think again. If you think for a second, oh, I'm not that important, or oh, I don't even have everything that I've wanted in life yet. I haven't achieved everything that I've wanted to achieve. That doesn't matter. Hello? That doesn't matter. All these people need to see is something that they admire, and it's game on. And if they're threatened enough by you, if they are intimidated enough by you, and if they let their admiration and pedestalization of you turn into competition and one-sided beef and trying to keep up with you, they can go to some crazy lengths behind their admiration for you. So don't think for a second that it's flattering or it's cute or it's sweet for someone to be in your lane and got the nerve to be watching everything you're doing, all up in your face and in your business, trying to study your sauce. I don't take that as a compliment. And I stay very, very far away from people who show me signs of obsession and fixation. If you show me a sign of obsession and fixation, immediately I'm looking at you sideways and I'm plotting on how to get you out of my face. It's so funny because when they realize that you are onto them, like in the beginning stages of someone being obsessed with you and like planning to destiny swap or like planning to compete with you, like they think that they're so slick, right? They think that they can compliment you and throw all these compliments at you, and they think that's blinding you from their intentions. Baby, I can see through that. I had friends like this who came into my life, pretended to be my friend, would hurl all these compliments at me, but every time I turned around, they were copying everything I did. They were trying to keep up with me. Every time I turn around, they're talking like me, walking like me, dressing like me, acting like me. Now, all of a sudden, they're interested in my hobbies and in my passions and my career interests. Girl, I understand you're trying to find yourself, but find yourself through someone else. Find yourself through God. Why are you trying to find yourself through me? You're a loser. So, ladies, if you're an it girl, this is a concept that you're all too familiar with. And I just want you to understand that these people are lowlives. These people have done this to many other women before you. You're not the first and you will not be the last. But it's about peeping the signs when you first catch on and nipping it in the bud, because they hate that. They hate for you to stop the plan. They hate when you notice it and you get them gone. When you pack them up and you get them gone before they can actually initiate the destiny swap or initiate the one-sided beef or one-sided competition, they hate you even more. Now you're a bad guy and you're weird and, oh, she's a bitch. Okay, I'll be that. I will gladly be all of those things if it means that you're not in my vicinity anymore. So ladies, drop down in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.